Good morning, YouTubadors and YouTubians. It is November 11th, and it is Veterans Day. Veterans Day, I've put together a little few facts here. Ever since the beginning of time with mankind, we have always had wars. We've never got along. Since Cain and Abel in the Bible, the first born of Adam and Eve, we've been at each other's throats. And so that has brought on the need for military, for soldiers. I've been looking at a list of wars since thousands of years back. There's so many I've never heard of. It's just crazy. Some of our American wars here, I've got some facts here. We'll start with the Revolutionary War. That was our first war as a country. And our last veteran of the Revolutionary War was Daniel Frederick Bakeman. And he died on April 5th of 1869 at the age of 109. And he was actually the last one that received a pension. He got $500 a year. That wasn't much money. That ain't much money today, but I'm sure that was pretty good back then. And then after that, we have the War of 1812. Hiram Cronk. He died at 105. He died May 13th, 1905. So he was the last veteran of that war. And you don't hear a lot about any wars before the Civil War, but there was quite a few. Some I'd never heard. I never knew we went to war with the Philippines. I didn't write that down, but there's the American-Philippine War. Goes to show what they teach us in our schools today. And where were we? We're moving on to the Civil War. And our last, I hope I don't get these two mixed up because I didn't write what he was. Okay, Walter Williams, I believe that is. He died December 20th of 1959. Man, I just missed meeting Civil War veterans. Well, he would have been pretty old then. I didn't get his age. Albert Wilson, he died in August 2nd of 1956 at the age of 106. He was the last Union Civil War soldier. It doesn't matter once you're in the ground. You're all made up the same. So we'll get on to that here in a minute. And then we're moving on to World War I. I've met World War I veterans. There are no more left. The last one died in 2011. His name was Frank Buckles. He died at 110 years old. Now, I do remember, when I lived in Iowa, I've met them throughout my life. A lot of World War I wouldn't say a lot. There was a few World War I vets that came in to the VFW there. They'd come in, play poker every morning and I remember always arguing with the World War II vets. And boy, they'd cut it up in there. So we don't have those guys anymore. Any of the ones I've named, they're all gone. Now here's a fact that you may not be aware of. Out of 16 million World War II veterans, there are 240,000 left. All my grandparents, and my grandparents all divorced and remarried, so I had a whole bunch of grandparents. All my grandfathers were World War II veterans, and they were in World War II. My grandmother, she packed bombs in a factory in World War II. All the women went to work in the factories. It's not like today where we go to war and your life doesn't even change. People don't even realize that we're at war. And we saw that with the Gulf Wars and over in Afghanistan. Nothing changes here. People don't even realize you got soldiers over there. Unless you have one in. one of your family. But anyway, we are losing World War II veterans, about 234 every single day. And within the next 9 years, there probably will not be one left. And most likely because the youngest World War II vets are now in their 90s. So I know all my grandparents are gone. So that's something to think about there. 16 million soldiers were in that. That's just the Americans. That doesn't count anyone else. And we're down to 240,000. That's hardly, and at 240 a day, you know. So if you know any World War II veterans that still speak good and have a clear memory, you know, get some stories. Alright, let's move on. I'll cut that part out. Okay, Vietnam veterans. There's 610,000 Vietnam vets. My uncle was he's a Vietnam vet. He's still alive. Vietnam veterans, we're losing them at an alarming rate too. They were exposed to a lot of things over there. I know my uncle, he's got a lot of health problems. They're Agent Orange. That stuff's real, folks. There's no telling what everything they were exposed to. But they're dying off pretty fast. You know, they're in their 70s. I remember seeing Vietnam vets when I was younger. They were in their 20s and just coming home. I remember my uncle coming home. So, if you think you're inconvenienced, it's hard to talk about this. It is. If you think you're inconvenienced because the bank or the post office is closed today, go to the National Cemetery and look up the complaint department, because they don't have one. I want you to look at all those headstones. There's guys laying there, and women, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. You complain to them. Complain to them because, you know, they didn't get to have Xboxes or drive nice cars. And you really have to, and this is a hard one for me to do, because I understand. Everything I have is not for nothing. So yeah, this will go a little long, but I get so aggravated when I see people just living their lives. They want this, they want that. They got 3 new cars. Oh, they're going to trade it in, you know, 6 months later and get another one. These guys never done, you know, World War II, they had, the whole country was in together. You know, there was rationing food, fuel. They even made where they took the copper from the pennies, and they had silver nickels for a time because they used it all for ammunition. So, like I said, take a moment, think about it. And just about everybody knows somebody or has a relative that have been lost, because human beings cannot get along, and so we got to fight each other constantly. So it was hard to get through this one. Alright guys, remember a veteran. Happy trails.